You're good.
Good evening. Welcome to the April 12th Clifton Park Town Board meeting. Please join me for the Pledge of Allegiance. Pledge allegiance
to the flag of the United States of America, and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Teresa, if you call the roll.
Councilwoman Flood. Here. Councilwoman Standard. Here. Councilman Morelli.
Here.
Councilwoman Wallwood. Here. Supervisor Barrett.
Here. No board minutes to consider tonight. Communications and announcements. I just want to mention that we'll be hosting a second vaccination clinic tomorrow at the Clifton Park Senior Community Center. At last count, we had over 200 appointments that were set. We also have a wait list. So if you are still interested, that information is on cliftonpark.org. So we'll be starting in the morning, going right through the afternoon. And I'm sure it'll be as smooth as the first one that we completed. So I just want to thank everybody that's been involved to get the vaccination clinic planned and ready to execute for tomorrow. Any other communications or announcements?
Yes.
Yes.
Thank you. On Thursday, April 16th, the Parks and Rec Department will be opening registration for half-day and full-day camp for all families who are interested in utilizing those tremendous services that we provide for kids throughout town. Again, that registration opens at 6 a.m. on Thursday. If you have any questions, just contact the Parks and Rec Department. They'll be able to answer any questions that you do have about the registration. Also, on Saturday, April 24th, the Green Committee is hosting our annual Clean Sweep Day. We have a lot of people already signed up, but there is room for more people to join us to help clean up our roadways, our parks, our trails, and our preserves. If anyone is interested in joining us for our annual Clean Sweep, all they need to do is email cleansweep@cliftonpark.org and or they call Town Hall here at 371-6651, and we can help assign a location to anyone who's interested in cleaning up. The Green Committee is also having a tree planting ceremony at 11 o'clock at the Clifton Common, right at the entrance there. Our committee had secured a $1,000 grant, which we had approved the supervisor to sign at our last town board meeting. So we will be planting those trees on Saturday the 24th at 11 o'clock, which will be very exciting and in honor of Arbor Day. So, thank you.
Very good. Anyone else? Teresa, we do have a few resolutions this evening. If you can read through those, please.
A resolution authorizing the sale of equipment declared surplus by the town board and authorizing departments to sell this surplus equipment at public auction. Whereas department heads have identified vehicles and equipment per the attached Schedule A as surplus property, and whereas based upon the recommendations of Highway Superintendent Dan Bull and Director of Building and Zoning Stephen Myers, the town board declares the items on the attached list as surplus. Now therefore be resolved that the town board authorizes the Highway Department and the Building and Development Department to sell the surplus equipment as is through an upcoming online public auction. Resolution renewing existing term easements pursuant to Section 125.10C Conservation Easement Renewals of the Town Code. Whereas the town initiated a term conservation easement program in 1996 with term easements issued with a minimum 15-year term thereafter, and whereas the first term conservation easements issued pursuant to Town Code Chapter 125 expired in 2011, whereas by resolution number 100 of 2020, the town board adopted resolution number 5 of 2020, eliminating the requirement for a public hearing on renewal applications of existing term conservation easements. And whereas 6 applications were received from individual holders of existing conservation easements expiring in 2021 to renew the existing conservation easement. And whereas the individuals and parcels listed on the attached Schedule A have applied for renewal of term conservation easements for properties and terms as listed. And whereas pursuant to Chapter 125.10C, the town board wishes to renew all applications for renewal of the term conservation easements as listed on Schedule A. Now therefore be it resolved that the expiring renewal applications submitted to the assessor as shown on Schedule A are hereby renewed. A resolution authorizing the use of the Clifton Common or the town parks for outdoor use by businesses impacted by governmental restrictions on operations or capacities. Whereas Clifton Park businesses continue to be negatively impacted by restrictions imposed by the state of New York by the governor. And whereas the town board wishes to encourage appropriate businesses and witness groups offering fitness and related classes to use available outdoor spaces to the maximum extent possible without conflict with existing uses. Now therefore be it resolved that the Director of Parks, Recreation, and Community Affairs is authorized to accept a special outdoor facility permit application for the use on the Clifton Common and relevant parks within the town for use by fitness, aerobics, yoga, and similar activities without charge to such businesses whose operations and ability to function has been restricted or curtailed by state orders and directives during the current pandemic through December 31st, 2021, and be it further resolved that the fee for such permit applications is waived through December 31st, 2021.
Any questions on the resolutions? All right, Teresa, if you could read the headings, please.
Resolution number 91 of 2021, a resolution authorizing the sale of equipment declared surplus by the town board and authorizing departments to sell the surplus equipment at public auction. So moved. Second.
By Mrs. Standard, second by Mrs. Flood. Dan and Steve are here. You have the list of what they've asked us to consider for surplus equipment. Did either of you want to comment?
Oh, let me comment.
All right.
So I just want to put on everybody's table here the 5 major items. We have 2 plow trucks and 3 sweepers. The 3 sweepers we had already talked about. We just recently purchased through a Key lease the new wooden sweeper, the Broom Bear. Love saying that, and it's been doing a fantastic job for us. So we have reduced the size of our sweeping fleet from 5 down to 2 now. So that's a good step. And then the 1993 and 1994 international trucks, those were plow trucks that were backups, but this during the winter and now in the spring, we've gone through and reassessed their conditions, and they're no longer useful for our needs, and we want to send them on their way. So we have one backup truck now.
And did we use those during the last winter? Did we have to use those?
Yes, on 2 occasions. We one truck is 56 or 55, the other is 53. On 2 occasions, we used 55.
Oh. All right, Steve, did you have anything you wanted to mention?
Here, the old Durango went in for inspection this year. It's been giving me trouble on and off for a couple of years. Went in for inspection this year, and there was just too much wrong with it to bother fixing anymore. Highway was going to get that when I got my new truck, and they didn't even want it because there was too much money had to be put into it to bring it back to safety level.
Yeah, okay. Well, it's got 14 years of a lot of short trips, so. Any questions for Dan and Steve? Teresa?
Councilwoman Flood? Yes. Councilwoman Standard?
Yes.
Councilman Morelli?
Yes.
Councilwoman Walloway?
Yes.
Supervisor Barrett?
Yes.
Resolution number 92 of 2021, a resolution renewing the existing term easements pursuant to section 12510C, conservation easement renewals of the town code. So moved.
By Mrs. Flood, second by Mr. Morelli. We have 6 here in front of us for renewal. It's fantastic when these renewals come before us because the landowner has decided to continue to partner with the town of Clifton Park. The conservation easement program provides tax breaks for large property owners in exchange for agreeing not to develop the property for a temporary period of time. Walter, is there anything you want to say on these applications?
Yeah, just a couple of quick things. We sent out 13 conservation easement renewals and only got 6 back. We had 7 people withdraw from the program. I think mostly because we're into the next generation. These easements were actually applied for back in 96, 97.
Right.
So now you're 20-some years after the fact. They're either some are deceased, their children, their heirs are taking over, and they do not want to be in the program anymore. So they pulled out of the program. So they're, who knows, they're going to sell the property, develop it, or what's going on. I think that's the first time that I've ever had that many not renewed. And so that was 7 lost. And we also lost another one partially on Hubs Road for a solar farm. They withdrew part of the land and they reimbursed the town around $63,000 for payback for the easement. So we're going to get some of that land back, but we've lost.
Well, the good thing too is they don't necessarily, 25-year term, right?
Mhm.
They don't necessarily have to make a decision today. They can enter the program at any time as long as they meet the acreage requirements.
Yep.
Just could be a factor of timing.
Yeah.
And
Exactly.
and considering options, but we have 3 that are farms, 3 under the title of open space here in front of us. So good to see these moving forward. And as far as those others, we should continue to remain in touch with them and understand where they might be going in the future. And if there's a way we can help or partner with them, we certainly want to take that opportunity.
Yeah, I've actually talked to each individual personally, either them or their family, and explained the program, told them what they need, what it can do, what it can't do. So in the case of Hubs Road Solar Farm, only where the panels and the new solar farm is going to be is out of the program. They're going to put the rest of the land back in the program.
Right.
I believe.
Yeah, because the heirs may not totally understand the program.
Right.
As well, so that might be part of their calculus as they decide what they want to do in the future.
Right.
All right. Any questions for Walt? Teresa?
Councilwoman Flood?
Yes.
Councilwoman Stander?
Yes.
Councilman Morelli?
Yes.
Councilwoman Walowitz?
Yes.
Supervisor Barrett?
Yes.
Resolution number 93 of 2021, a resolution authorizing the use of the Plimpton Common or town parks for outdoor use by businesses impacted by governmental restrictions on operations or capacity.
Second.
Moved by Mr. Morelli, second by Mrs. Flood, and it asked at a recent meeting if we had received any requests for this program. At that time, we hadn't, but I did receive one the end of last week. This resolution would renew this very popular and effective policy this town board enacted in 2020. Businesses continue to be affected by capacity limits in certain industries. And this policy allows businesses to use public property free of charge to hold classes and instructional sessions so they can continue to operate their business in a way that will help them stay in business. Obviously, if you can only use an indoor facility and you're under very strict capacity limits, it's going to be very difficult for you to continue to generate the necessary amount of revenue to stay in business. So this policy was very effective last year, and I expect it will be this year as well. I think as far as I know, we had a very positive experience with it last year. So it's before you again for 2021. It would go through the end of the year, or until directives are changed. Any questions, discussion?
I just think it's another opportunity for us to support small businesses. A lot of these the type of businesses that will be utilizing this, I think especially this year as more and more people are getting vaccinated, are the smaller kind of, trainers, fitness instructors, yoga instructors. So I think kind of like we've done with the other small businesses and with restaurants in town, I think it's just a great opportunity for us to continue to support those smaller businesses.
Very good. Any other discussion, questions? All right, Teresa?
Councilwoman Flood?
Yes.
Councilwoman Stanhope?
Yes.
Councilman Morelli?
Yes.
Councilwoman Holloway?
Yes.
Supervisor Barrett?
Yes. Any other business to come before the board this evening?
Motion to adjourn.
Second.
Second by Mrs. Standard.
Councilwoman Flood?
Yes.
Councilwoman Stanhope?
Yes.
Councilman Morelli?
Yes.
Was that?
Councilwoman Holloway?
Yeah.
Supervisor Barrett?
Yes.
I missed you, sorry.
Thank you.
Good
I think you did get it.
Did I?
But you forgot Bill too, so that's.
I was thinking, I know I was getting to you, but I.
Either way, we have it, George.
Yeah, very good.